the only one you get. Just be careful or you'll probably ruin it.
So, what is the mission statement of SAFE?
I'm not sure I know the mission statement. I know what our mission is, though. So our goal is pretty much to represent whatever the students are looking for that semester. So sometimes we're more of an activist group. Sometimes we're more of a ecological restoration group. That's kind of the feel we have this year because that's more of my interest. When Billy Cook was running the group, we were way more interested maybe in political stuff and activist activities. But it really depends on what the students are doing and the student interests during that semester. So it sort of varies. Our goals really are to give a voice to the students who have interest in environmental issues. That's pretty straightforward, and we have a pretty diverse group even this semester. So it's pretty much to be the voice of the students for the environment on campus. We're pretty busy, actually. We most Saturdays we have some sort of activity. This year we've done River Sweep, which was a cleanup activity at through Forest Park Nature Center. I'm thinking we might have had 15 or 20 students that came and cleaned up the river in, I'm trying to think, maybe early September. We have done almost every Saturday, we've had some sort of work day. So we've done things like going out and doing restoration work, either at Tawny Oaks. We've done some cleanup. We just did a cleanup day at Rocky Glen this last weekend. We only had 5 people there maybe, but that still was a pretty good. So we were cleaning up garbage. We were pulling garlic mustard. We did a seed collection day at Singing Woods. So we've had a number of different activities. We also show documentaries, sometimes very controversial documentaries. This year we haven't shown one yet, but last year we showed one about climate change and climate science denial, which is a rather appropriate topic, looking at what's happening politically right now. The year before that we showed one on GMOs, and so we've had several different topics. And with that we work with the public, and we usually get 300 or 400 people. We've had up to 500 people at some of those. People don't even know that's happening, I can tell by your face. So we do those at the PAC. And so we have lots of different things. We've sold t-shirts, so we do a lot of different activities. I am passionate about this anyway, so I teach environmental biology on campus. So this is what I grew up wanting to do. It is so important, I think, for students to know that they can make a difference. And I teach several of the classes that have students that come through and they kind of get started learning about this. The environmental biology class is probably the one where most of them kind of start to hear these topics. That's Biology 114. My co-advisor is Jen Scobie. She teaches the biology majors, which is 160. And both of us kind of have students in those classes that start to hear about some of these topics, and then they want to maybe take it further. And I feel like going from learning and hearing topics to then becoming active and doing things is a natural progression, and that's partially what we want to do is provide an outlet for students. But we have at least half the students this year that were never in either of those classes. They come from all different walks of life. So I find it important to let students have sort of a say in what's going on in their world, and I think that many students are actually very interested in wanting to be part of the change. So I'm happy to put my time forward.
What would you say to people who deny climate change or just all in all like don't really care about the environment at all?
You know, I don't really run into all that many of those. I know that they're out there, but I must be in my own little bubble because my classes really, I teach environmental biology. When I taught in the 90s, I had quite a few students who came through, and I was having to talk about man-made versus non-man-made and all that. Now we get right to the heart of what we can do about it, so I know that there is still some of that out there. The people who sign up for my courses tend to not be in that category. I know from reading statistics that in the state of Illinois, 39% of the people in the state of Illinois are climate deniers, but I just am not running into them as much. So I know that there's been a big push in the media to sort of discredit the science, but 97, and that's even a low number, 97 to 98% of the scientists are all in agreement that this is actually happening and this is man-made, and that we really don't need to be arguing about that anymore, and that we really need to get going. And worst case scenario, what harm is there if we start to do some change and we were wrong? But that's so not really the issue. The issue is really that it's politically inconvenient for some people to know the science. So I don't really come across it that often is really the answer I have.
What would you say to someone, or what would you, I don't know, basically what advice would you give to someone who kind of thought that they couldn't really do anything about it? What would you, like, they said, well, I'm just one person, there's nothing I can do.
Make no mistake that one individual can make a difference. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. And I absolutely feel that is the case, and I feel like we're seeing a lot of that right now, that people are feeling like they don't have much power, and yet I also feel like people are starting to see how much power they actually have, and that individuals are starting to see that it's super important to have your voice and to make sure you keep your voice now probably more than ever. So I always use the example of this woman in my hometown that wore funny hats. She happened to be, her name's Rita Fishbach. She was a vice president of ICC eventually, but she was just a woman who walked our town, and she hated the garbage that was on the side of the paths when she walked. And she would go and she'd pick it up, and she just finally one day said, we just need to have a cleanup. And so she talked to the people in charge of the park district and in charge of the city, and she was just like, well, we're going to do this cleanup Washington Day. The first year, I think we probably had 30 people. By last year, there were, I don't even know, every year we have 500 people that come and clean up Washington in May. She passed away this last year of cancer. It was really sad. But the day is a thing, and this was just one woman, one idea. She talked to two people. I ended up on this committee, but I mean, the committee was basically every year we say who's going to bring the trash bags, who's going to do the pickup. We get some orange T-shirts, and it was very little planning, lots and lots of feel good, and lots of good work that gets done every year. The year after the tornado was huge because there was, beds and trees and, lots of cleanup to be done. But it was just another example of, and it's just one small example, students can do this. Students right now are doing this. Today, I think I heard that 130 colleges are having walkouts over the political issue, and almost all of those are because one student on the campus said, we need to do something. So I just think that it's very easy for students to have an impact. So I really feel that students are probably kind of in the same place that I am right now, kind of hurting and worried about the planet. I definitely am there. But never has there been a time I don't feel like we could make such a difference. And I think that the issues that are most important to me are the same issues that are most important to you, and that is the environment. I think that there's a lot of other stuff going on right now, but the issues that will define, I think, our generation, your generation and mine, are going to be the ones that are environmental. I think a lot of this other stuff is white noise, but I think that the environmental issues are going to be the ones that stick with us. And, who ends up in the cabinet, who ends up in all of that stuff is going to be maybe stuff that we don't remember. But I think that the stands we make right now for the environment are going to be long-lasting. And that if anybody's interested in joining SAFE, we meet on Friday afternoons at 1. In 314, I'm trying to remember, in 314, I don't remember what letter it is. B? I don't know. D. Maybe D, 314D. There's a sign outside the office. It's the biology lab. And we would be happy to have anybody who would like to join us.
Nature. It's all around us. In forests, trails, and even in the midst of industry and unnatural structures. Nature finds a way to poke through. But what would happen if the environment was destroyed? We wouldn't be able to have easy access to clean water or fresh air, we wouldn't be able to experience the beauty and serenity of nature. There would be no more flowers or trees or even grass. But what could cause such a horrible thing to happen? Climate change. Man-made climate change has serious negative effects on the environment. Most people already know this, but most people still don't know how to help. There are many ways you can help the environment. You can pick up trash, plant trees, or even create awareness. But it's difficult to do this alone. That's why you should join SAFE, the Student Association for the Environment, an organization based in preserving nature. Founded in 1987, SAFE has made a tremendous impact at both ICC and in the surrounding communities. They have recycled over 20,000 cans and have been able to purchase and distribute over 22,000 trees since their inception. If you want to make a difference, join SAFE or donate money or time at a SAFE-sponsored event. If you want to check it out, meetings are Friday at 1 in 314D at the Biology Lab. Remember, never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens. They can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has.
Trees are all sugar maples. If you can see all the little trees out here, that's why. I mean, they don't burn out here. You ever heard of like prairie burns or forest burns?
Yeah.
Those burns don't get to happen out here because we're too afraid of fire. So all these sugar maples kind of take over and they become an invasive, even though they're native to Illinois. So that's why these are like all over the place. There should not be this many sugar maples out here. And then
Would
all
there be
the
more big trees if there weren't so many of those?
these are little
Poison
sugar
ivy.
maples. And if you notice too, on the bigger trees, the ones that aren't sugar maples, there's like if you look at this big tree right here, those branches up at the top have just kind of like broken off. They're just kind of nubs.
Yeah.
And that's because these little trees have basically taken over all the nutrients and blocking out all the sunlight so that they can't get to all of this. And so the branches fall off the trees to preserve more energy. So they can make it environment.
Oh god.
And they were never seen again. Yep.
Yay, leaf angel!
Nature!
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Leaf caught it! You have leaves in your hair.
I bet. I felt them drop in there.
It's a squirrel. Da-da-da. I like how the stick broke before.
Don't think your weight and mass is equal to that of a stick.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Perhaps you should sit down. Now turn around and smile.
Just
There you go.
Give a thumbs up.
This is so cool. Look at this. Are you getting this whole thing? Because you really should.
Yeah, I'm like filming going through this arch. Ooh, mushroom.
I'm still on.
Yep.
You going? Okay.
Parkour. If you didn't have the environment, would you have this much fun?
No.
That'll be like, this will be part of the narration. Like, a trip through the woods. Brought to you by the environment.
Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna die here.
I mean, it's not that.
4 foot drop.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I'm gonna die.
It should be fine.
You want someone else to hold your hand? Yeah.
Well, I'm holding the camera, so I mean, I can't do that.
Well, I can't hold your hand because I'm over here. You can hold my hand.
You can hold hands with the environment. Just get a shot of the exposed roots and then add like a snapping sound effect. Pan over your dead on the ground.
Yeah. Ah, I made it. Oh my god. It's that easy. Oh my god, that's a thorn. That's a motherfucking thorn.
Oh lord, that is, isn't it? It's a lot of thorns.
That is a entirely too many thorns. That's a good thing to point out. Not out here. Yeah. Don't pee on the environment. I'm a bear can piss in the woods, but I can't. Nope.
This is what happens when you hate the environment.
Will will whack you over the head with a stick wrapped in your trash.
Yes, he will beat you to death.
Will's gone.
Oh no, he's dead.
Do a shit.
Satyrs live in these woods. Good documentary, and then everyone dies.
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
Why?
Nature.